So the thing is that there's another way of finding the order of the reaction. To finding the order of a reactant, basically. And this one is, how do you find the order? Experimentally. तो एक तो वो था कि graphs बना दो. If you know the mechanisms, you can find the order of reaction. Now this one is, you just do an experiment. ठीक है कि you change the concentration. मतलब experiment क्या है कि orders में क्या था कि order 2 कहाँ पे लिखा हुआ था? हाँ, अच्छा, so you just do or repeat simple experiments. ठीक है, in those simple experiments what you're going to do is if it's order 2, you double the concentration and see what happens. If you double the concentration, if the rate increases 4 times, तो ठीक है, that's order 2, right? So just do a simple experiment. या फिर if it's order 0, you double the concentration or triple the concentration, and if the rate is not affected, that means it's order 0. और फिर order 1 क्या होगा कि order 1 is that if you double the concentration and the rate also doubles or increases proportionally, तो उसका मतलब है that's order 1. ठीक है, so you just do an experiment, a simple experiment. तो पहले वो मैं खोलूँ, एक सेकंड, कहाँ पड़ा हुआ है? अच्छा, worksheet से ना मैं I'll just pick questions directly. So you'll just do multiple experiments is A levels. लेटेस्ट वाले कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, ये मैं सेंड कर दूँ इस क्लास के बाद. अच्छा, so let me just find out हाँ, ये एक है. अच्छा, so they have a reaction. I don't know what the reaction is. ये शुरू में, ठीक है, this is the reaction. ठीक है, so the reaction is, you've got a I think that's a halogenoalkane. The Cl gets replaced by NH3, so there's this reaction happening between these two reactants. Now what happens is they've simply made a table. ठीक है, and that table looks like this. ठीक है, so they did 2 experiments. So I'm just going to copy this here. अच्छा, so they've done. अच्छा, now they've done 2 experiments. Now in those 2 experiments, there's experiment number 1 and experiment number 2, and this is your these are your 2 reactants. ठीक है, so that's reactant number 1, that's reactant number. अच्छा, that's reactant number 2. Now you can clearly see that he's not investigating reactant number 1. उसकी concentration वो change नहीं कर रहा. So basically he's just trying to figure out what happens when you change the concentration of reactant number 2. तो reactant number 2 की जो concentration है ना, वो उससे change की है. It was 0.003 mole per dm cube, but in the second experiment it is 0.0045 mole per dm cube. तो कोई मुझे बता दे कि by what factor did he increase the concentration? कितने times increase किया? मतलब 300 से 450 कितना टाइम्स बनता है?
1.5 sir.
ठीक है, so that means, अच्छा, remember factor निकालना ना, so that's just take this number divided by the other number. ठीक है, so this one is कि he's increasing the concentration 1.5 times. अब इसका जरा कैलकुलेटर पे निकालो. So by what factor did the rate increase? तो इधर कैलकुलेटर पे निकालो. What's I mean, forget 10 power minus 5, 2.21 divided by 1.47, क्या आता है?
1.5.
तो 1.5 आता है. तो इसका मतलब है Okay, what he did was and remember in this experiment he's not investigating reactant number one. मतलब जिसको change ही नहीं कर रहा तो उसको वो कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा. He's not investigating it, right? He's only investigating reactant number two, so 1.5 times increase किया. So the rate of the reaction also increased 1.5 times. So what is the order with respect to NH3? ये कौन सा order बनता है?
One.
One बनता है, directly proportional, right? So that means if you compare, this is how you're going to write the answer, that if you compare experiment one and experiment number two, uh, what happened in that was that the NH3 concentration increased 1.5 times. And your rate it also increased 1.5 times. And so that means hence order with respect to NH3 is 1. Okay, that's it. So it's a simple question. Let me just open the एक second. There's another slightly older worksheet. Just a second. Reaction. ये वाली. अच्छा इसमें मैं और खोल लेता हूँ इस तरह के questions. Just 1 second. अच्छा sorry. अच्छा let's take this other question. ठीक है, the equation is given. And he's doing a similar experiment. ठीक है. So I've just copied this one. ठीक है. So you're doing a similar experiment. Next question. अच्छा, now in this question, that's on your screen. ठीक है. Remember there is two reactants, NO and O2. ठीक है, that's given NO and O2. तो हमने figure out करना है what's the order with respect to each one of them. तो अच्छा, remember when you're doing a comparison, like firstly I want to figure out the order with respect to uh NO. ठीक है. तो order with respect to NO अगर मैंने निकालना है, so what I need to do is that only I'm going to this is experiment number one. ठीक है, ये लिखा हुआ नहीं है. This is experiment number one, this is experiment number two, and this one is experiment number three. अच्छा, so if I want to find out the order with respect to NO, so I'm going to do two experiments, and only NO should change. O2 should not change. ठीक है, मतलब वरना तो वो अगर मैंने NO को इन्वेस्टिगेट करना है, only NO should change. I should try and see कि भाई NO को change करते हैं तो what happens, right? What's the result on rate? ठीक है, so O2 should not change. All other variables should be constant. तो मुझे बताओ if I want to investigate NO, which two experiments should I compare?
1 and 3.
ठीक है, 1 and 3, because 1 and 3, right? Because I would want to keep ठीक है, I would want to keep कि भाई ये बीच में वही रहे, constant रहे. तो अब मुझे बताओ कि what happened if I compare 1 and 3, तो what did I do with NO's concentration? By what factor did I उसको कितने factor से alter किया? Half कर दिए, right? So it's been halved, right? तो by what factor did the rate change? मतलब इस नंबर को कैलकुलेटर पे इससे डिवाइड कर दो, तो what do you get?
0.25.
So 1 by 4, right? So what kind of relationship is this? कि NO को change किया, half किया, so rate decreases by 1 by 4. So what is the order?
2.
ठीक है, तो it's order 2. This one is order 2. और उसी तरह के you compare experiments 1 and 3. तो NO concentration को क्या हुआ है? It was halved while the rate became 1/4. तो hence वो जो relationship होगी, that's going to be rate is dependent on NO's concentration and the order is 2. ठीक है, order 2 लिख देते हैं यहाँ पे, order is 2. अच्छा, वापस let's ignore that. ठीक है, let's do O2, right? So I'm going to try and investigate what happens if I change the concentration of O2. So which experiments, what is the order of O2? So which experiment should I compare? O2 change होना चाहिए, nothing else should change. So which experiments?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. I'm going to keep NO constant now. So O2 को मैंने change किया and it's again halved. तो इधर क्या हुआ है? इधर भी मेरे ख्याल से half ही हुआ है. ठीक है, this is also 1.75 का half क्या होता है? I think it is, so it is being halved. So for O2, what you're going to do is you're going to compare 2 and 3. To compare experiments 2. So experiment 3 and O2, sorry. So your O2 concentration was halved, and the rate is also halved. So hence, rate or O2 की जो relationship है, that is directly proportional. Up here, what you can do is you can find out the overall rate equation. The overall rate equation would be कि भाई rate है, and that's constant लगा लेते हैं, forget proportionality. So NO is going to be squared, and O2 is order 1. ठीक है, that's your overall rate relationship. ठीक है, is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
अच्छा, फिर let's do a similar question के kind table. अच्छा, ये वाला interesting होगा. ठीक है, so again a similar question. अच्छा, so you got two reactants, right? You got NH3 and you got ClO -1. अच्छा, अब ये कि अब मुझे बताओ कि let's say I want to find out the order with respect to NH3, right? So which experiment should I compare? NH3 निकालना है order. So NH3 should change, the others should stay constant. So which experiment should I compare? कौन सा होगा NH3?
2 and 3. 2 and 3, sir.
ठीक है, तो 2 and 3, right? So I'm going to compare 2 and 3. NH3 is doubled. This remains the same constant, right? And the rate becomes 4 times. So clearly it's order 2, right? So पता लग गया कि NH3 is rate with respect to NH3, that's order 2. ठीक है, which experiments did you compare? Compare experiments 2 and 3. अच्छा, अब उसका बताओ ClO -1. If I want to investigate ClO -1, which experiment should I compare? ClO -1 should change, and you should keep NH3 constant, right? तो कौन से experiments compare करने हैं? उमैद, क्या प्रॉब्लम आया यहाँ पे?
Sir, the concentration of NH3 is different in all three.
ठीक है, so it's you can't keep NST out of the mess because NST is changing every time, right? क्योंकि obviously investigation variable के बारे में तभी पता लगती है if you keep everything else constant, right? Now you don't know कि भाई वो यहाँ पे rate में change जो है ना, is it happening because of CLO -1 or is it happening because of NST? So the problem is that you can't really investigate CLO -1. So how would you do that? उसके लिए you would have to use a bit of math, ठीक है? So this is how you're going to do that. Although थोड़ा बहुत ना देख के भी कर सकते हो, लेकिन mathematically this is how you're going to do that. Your rate equation at the moment is कि rate is dependent on मतलब on what? CLO -1? But I don't know what the order is. And it is dependent on NH3. For NH3, I know what the order is. ठीक है, वो भी निकाल लेते हैं squared, right? So I have this equation right now, which is slightly incomplete because I don't know what X is. ठीक है? So X is unknown. तो अब करेंगे ये कि I'm going to plug in data from experiment number 1. तो rate क्या है? That's 0.256. K, I don't know what K is. CLO -1, that's 0.2. Or power X, ठीक है, I don't know what X is. NH3 is 0.1 and it's squared. ठीक है, ये clear है? तो वो जो partial equation है ना for the rate equation, I mean the partial equation that I have. ये क्या हुआ, एक second. अच्छा, so what I did was I just plugged in experiment number 1 data, right? And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to plug in experiment number 2 data as well. दो equations आ जाएंगी मेरे पास. So if I plug in experiment number 2 data, so the rate is in experiment number 2, the rate is 2.05. K is still unknown. ये 0.400 power K X, or this is 0.200. That I know is squared. ठीक है, तो clear है कि I had a partial equation and I just plugged in data from 2 experiments into this partial equation. ठीक है, clear है?
Yes, sir.
तो अब इन दोनों इक्वेशंस को ना साइमल्टेनियसली सॉल्व कर लो. But how would you solve simultaneously? There are two unknowns, ठीक है? There's K that's unknown, there's X that's unknown, ठीक है? So what you're gonna do is K is a constant, right? So you're gonna take K of one equation. मतलब उसको मैं subject of the equation बना लेता हूँ. So what is the value of K if I make K the subject of the equation? K would be 0.256. अच्छा, K is 0.256 and और नीचे क्या होगा? It's going to be 0.200x and 0.100 squared. ठीक है, that's what K is. And I'm going to use that K and I'm going to plug it in this equation. ठीक है, so in the second equation, so it's going to be 2.05. वो ऊपर वाला K उठा के I'm going to put it over here, so it's going to be 0.256. और नीचे क्या था? नीचे that's 0.200x and 0.100 squared. फिर like if I then K gets multiplied by 0.400x. And 0.200 squared. ठीक है. And now I'm going to try and solve for x. ठीक है, I'm going to bring all the other things to one side, so it's going to be 2.05. ऊपर चला गया 0.100 squared. नीचे आ गया 0.200 squared. फिर इधर क्या आ गया 0.256. और यहाँ पे क्या आ गया? That's going to be 0.400 x sorry. ये फॉलो कर रहे हो ना कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? ठीक है, I'm just doing, and this is 0.200x. इसको जरा सॉल्व करके मुझे बताओ क्या आ रहा है. दिस साइड इज एक्चुअली 2 to the power x, मतलब 4/2x है ना. लेफ्ट साइड क्या आ रही है?
टू आ रही है सर.
2 आ रही है.
यस.
तो अब इतनी मेहनत करने के बाद क्या पता लगा x की वैल्यू क्या है? 1 है. 2 to the power x is 2, so that's 2 to the power 1 is 2, right? Is that clear?
यस.
Khadija, clear है? Tasneem, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, तो एक तो ये मैथमेटिकल वे, ठीक है. व्हाट यू गोना डू इज के आई मीन फॉर comparisons the easy way, you have to keep one of the reactant, you have to change one of the reactant, but you have to keep the other constant, ठीक है. But in case the other is not constant, so you all already have a partial rate equation जिसके अंदर you know the order of one of them but not the other one, right? So you're gonna just plug in data from 2 experiments. फिर एक का k जो है ना, plug it in the other k because k is the same. So when you do that, it gives you eventually x comes out to be equal to 1. इसको लेकिन देख के भी कर सकते थे. देख के करने में ना you just have to sort of be more कि इसका नहीं पता ना order. You already knew the order of this thing, right? So how would you find out the order by looking at experiments 1 and 2? By just looking at it. NST का डबल था ना कि 1 से 2 करोगे तो वो क्या हो जाएगा, मतलब 1 से 2 डबल करोगे तो वहां पे क्या हो जाएगा, 4 times, राइट? सो इट विल बिकम 1. ठीक है, 4 times of this is 1. If you double this, that will become 4 times. ठीक है, this is NH3 is order 2. ठीक है, we already found that. But you're not getting 1, you're getting 2.05. That means it got doubled again. It got doubled because this got doubled. So that means the order with respect to CLO minus 1 is 1. तो मैं फिर से एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ. डायरेक्टली थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, ठीक है. डायरेक्टली यू जस्ट हैव टू कि आई न्यू द ऑर्डर ऑफ दिस वन ऑलरेडी. आई न्यू के NH3 was order 2. ठीक है, आई न्यू दैट. तो आई सेट के इसको अगर डबल करोगे तो दिस विल बिकम 4 times, राइट? So from 0.256, it should become 1. But it's not 1. It's actually 2. That means कि वो फिर से double हुआ है. There's another doubling happening. That doubled happened because this got doubled. ठीक है, that must have happened because of this thing. तो ये double हुआ था, वो double. So that means that's directly proportional. So this must be order 1. तो directly करना बस थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, ठीक है. You can get it wrong a lot of times when you try to do it directly. ठीक है, चलिए ये क्लियर है दोनों? क्लियर है कि नहीं क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Yes.
तो चलो भाई फिर बैठ के जरा करो ना मुझे वैसी इधर मुझे देख के मुझे बताओ कि सारे खुद ही करो सॉल्व. 2 रिएक्टेंट्स है, राइट? ये खुद ही सॉल्व करो, ठीक है. यू गॉट 5 minutes. ये 2 रिएक्टेंट्स है. फाइंड द ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू, हाँ ये भी वही वाला है. इसके अंदर वो करना पड़ेगा. इसमें मसला होगा कि व्हेन यू ट्राई टू फाइंड द ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू H2O2, तो H2O2 शुड चेंज. लेकिन मसला एवरी द अदर शुड रिमेन कांस्टेंट, राइट? बट इट्स नॉट रिमेनिंग कांस्टेंट, तो इसमें वही करना पड़ेगा. चलो ट्राई एंड ये भी करो ना जरा सारे. ट्राई एंड डू दिस. फाइंड द ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ईच वन ऑफ देम. 5 minute है. Second. छोड़ो, बंद कर दो। ये किसी को टाइमर नजर आ रहा है?
No, sir.
अच्छा, ये मैं वीडियो ऑन करूंगा फिर आएगा शायद। इसका फायदा कोई नहीं है। ये वाला तो नजर आ रहा है ना, ये जो
Yes, sir.
चेक से कर लिया?
Almost done, sir.
अहमद हुआ है, तस्नीम, साद, खदीजा हुआ है। उमैद हो गया कि नहीं हुआ? चलिए, ये इसकी वर्किंग ना मुझे व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दो, इस क्वेश्चन की सारे। ठीक है उमैद, आवाज आ रही है?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
चले ठीक है सर, मैं फिर यहाँ से बंद कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? इसी में स्क्रीनशॉट भी भेज रहा हूँ उस पर।